So to get started off, can you tell me about your journey to becoming a worship pastor?
Oh, wow. Well, I'll try and keep it brief because it can get a little long giving that kind of a testimony. But basically, I had no experience in music at all, much
Yeah.
less music ministry. Um, so, my music part of it just kind of evolved through college, and then as Megan and I got married, I just kept playing guitar and stuff, and I had some guys at the church that I grew up in Ethelsville, Alabama, Ethelsville Baptist Church. That these were some older guys that had mentored me as I was growing up. One of them had a son that was my age, and so we started playing a little bit of music on Saturday nights, Friday nights at the church, and one thing led to another. We started um, playing like one song a month as a special.
Yeah.
As we got a little bit better, and then I had a very good, wonderful man named Charlie Farah that had come over and led some revivals and several nights of worship there at Ethelsville. And Charlie knew Megan, my wife, from where she grew up at Clovis Springs. And it came a point in time at Ethelsville where we were without a music minister. And Megan's dad was our pastor at the time, Mel Houghton, and he had asked Brother Charlie. I wasn't there, but this is the story I got from Brother Mel.
Okay.
So if I tell something wrong, this is the story that came to me.
Now this is the one that's on record, so this is the one that's going to stick.
That's right. But anyway, Brother Mel had asked Brother Charlie about coming and being our interim music minister while our search committee was looking for someone. And Brother Charlie knew that I had done some stuff with this group there at Ethelsville, and he said, "Well, if you just need an interim for a few months," he told Brother Mel, he said, "Well, why don't you ask Josh to do it?" He said, "I think he's capable of doing it for a few months while your search committee gets things together and rolling." So anyway, Brother Mel came to me after that conversation and asked me what I thought about it. And I said, "Well, I'll definitely give it a try." And at the time, I was a deacon there at the church. I had several other leadership roles at the church, and so it wasn't like I wasn't in some form of leadership already at the church. But anyway, he asked me, and I did that for 2 or 3 months, and they finally called someone to step into that role. And later on, Megan and I ended up moving to Steens. We left Ethelsville, our house that we first had there when we got married. We moved from that house and we moved up to Steens, and we got to know some other people at Border Springs Baptist Church. And after that little time as an interim, I guess word got out, and people started asking me just out of the blue to come fill in for them when they would be out.
That's awesome.
And so one thing led to another. And while we were at Border Springs Baptist Church, we had moved our membership up there, and I was playing with their worship team and filling in for different people. And eventually McBee Baptist Church called me to be in the interim there. And that was the first church that actually called me into a music ministry role. And so that's kind of how it all started. And then from McBee, Megan and I ended up with East End Baptist Church. And Byron,
I should have said that at the beginning, but you were the worship pastor. Is that your title there? Is it work?
It is
Minister of Music.
Okay. At East End. I don't know what the title is.
I got you.
It's kind of like I don't really care what they call me as long as they call me.
That's right.
But anyhow, so we're at East End now, and Byron and Melanie were very instrumental in my life and Megan's life too. And before we came to East End, there were several guys. I mentioned Brother Charlie and Brother Mel, but Chris Harding's another one, a wonderful guy that kind of helped me along. Mike Dodson was the minister of music at Border Springs. Mike was very instrumental, a wonderful guy too. And, you know, a lot of those guys that had been leading music and serving in a ministry role with these other churches, you know, just kind of kept pouring into me and giving me opportunities. And, you know, I think that's kind of what it's about anyway. They showed me that, you know, it's not really about yourself, but it's about pouring into others.
Yeah.
And giving them those opportunities. And just, you know, sometimes this is kind of how it was with me anyway, and I think it's that way with a lot of, especially young people of the faith. People just need to know that you have faith in them.
Yeah.
And that you're there to encourage them to take that step.
That's right.
Because, you know, a lot of times, you know, you never know what someone is capable of, and we never know as individuals what we're capable of until we're put in a situation to where we have to step out on faith and allow God to take control.
That's absolutely right.
And also, but yeah, that's kind of how that's, you know, the brief Cliff Notes version of how my journey started.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Now, having someone give you an opportunity like that is huge. I think that's exactly how I got my start in worship as well.